Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Confidently Wrong. Welcome to 2025. We took a little break for the holidays. We haven't done that in a while, so we took about a month and a half off. The last show we talked about was Wicked, and we were like, we're going to talk about Arcane next, and then we never did, and we probably never will. But that's okay. We're going to move on to 2025. It's a new year, new us. Brian, how's your holidays?
I've been a little sick.
Yeah? I've been sick too, bro.
So that's the gift that keeps on giving in 2025.
Nice.
To
Did you have some like, were we like head cold? Were we like, oh, bubble guts? Like what kind of
Bubble guts? What is
yeah.
bubble guts?
Ooh,
that
bubble
sounds
guts.
nasty.
Yeah.
It's when your stomach.
That's when your stomach is like,
stomach
oh,
bubbling.
ah,
It's like a cauldron.
Oh no, that's
like
just,
a witch's cauldron with.
That's not illness. That's just morning poops, man.
Oh, okay. Those
man.
Every day. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
One man's bubble guts is another man's calm seas, I suppose.
That's just the thing that wakes me up.
Sav, how was your holiday? Oh wait, Brian, did you do any traveling over the holidays?
Yeah, we
You
went
traveled
this
to
year.
Great Garden State. That's where I traveled to.
So 15 miles away. That's where you went.
Correct.
Nice.
Short drive.
Why do they call it the Garden State, Brian? I've never understood this. Are there many gardens or something? Is it lush and green?
There's a lot of hedge mazes.
That's what we're doing.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's bounteous. It's a bounteous state.
Bounteous.
All the best people come from New Jersey.
All the best. The wonderfulest, bestest people.
Shaq and Sinatra. That's all you need.
Nice. And Bon Jovi. Isn't he a famous New Jerseyan?
And Whitney Houston.
Really?
And Lauryn Hill.
Oh.
Who I have seen at Target.
That's kind of amazing. What's up, Lauryn Hill? Shout out. One of the only
Not
albums.
Show, clearly.
One of the only albums that I can think of that has no misses, no skips on that album. Even though there was only one album, no skips. Savon, how's your break? Not break.
Yes,
how's your holiday season?
Sorry, the Latrell Sprewell of album drops. Just like that one first team year, and then just like, all right, cool, I'm out.
Wow.
Has some drama off court. Has some drama off court, and then it's like, okay, cool, he disappeared
without strangling somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Not that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. But
wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, my holiday was good though. I went home to New Orleans for a week. Had a good time. Was eating good food. Eating the crawfish,
Nala the dog?
the shrimp. Oh yeah, I was chilling. Me and Nala the dog was chilling. You know what I'm saying? We was in that joint eating crawfish, po' boys, fish. My uncle made bread pudding. My grandma made gumbo. I was eating good. I definitely brought some pounds back with me. Shit, I had the leftover bread pudding. I couldn't eat all the bread pudding when we was in New Orleans. I couldn't leave it. So, when I'm packing my bags, I had to like wrap that in foil, put that in a little plastic bag, freeze it so it could stand in the flight. I had that. So when I got off the plane, got home. Ooh, we went back. I had a very lovely holiday.
That's amazing.
I'm glad it made it through TSA.
Yeah, got to now it didn't make it through TSA, which it's no one's fault. It's someone's fault. But I bought some sweet tea jelly or sweet tea jam when I was in New Orleans too. And TSA,
they said no.
Wasn't in my they took it, and it wasn't in one of my bags because I thought it wasn't in my suitcase, but it got thrown away because it wasn't in the the checked bag, and that really hurt me because I'm like, oh Jesus, we really let the terrorists win. We used to be a proper country, and I'm like, so the TSA man, you see, I got this delicious jam. And the worst part, I opened up the jam before the flight because I just wanted to
taste it in front of the agent.
I was like, no. Before I even went to the airport, I'm like, oh, this is delicious. I can't wait.
Yeah,
to put this on some
a
toast
spread.
back home.
Yeah,
see what it's hitting for.
That's the biggest disappointment, right? Is you had expectations.
And then I watched the man take it, and then I was like, yo, B, you sure I can't can I scoop some out? Can I just use a couple spoons just to what we got to do? And I watched him throw that shit away, and I'm like, man,
damn.
This is how people get radicalized.
So you said that it wasn't in your bag.
He was trying not to put that person on
blast. It came out as someone else's bag, but it was your jam. Were you trying to plant it on somebody?
Tony didn't put it in her check bag.
Oh, Tony was traveling with you.
She didn't put it in the check bag, so. It's not her fault because I should have just put it in my bag.
Big moment. That means Tony went to meet the parents and the extended family.
Home for the holidays?
Wow.
It was a good time. A lot of food.
This is the holiday movie we need.
Good Lord.
When is The Ring coming?
The only
Savon?
holiday movie we watched was Friday After Next, which is a great Christmas movie. Anyways, I had a really good holiday.
She needs a ring, Savon. You took
anyways,
her home to meet the parents. It's time.
So yeah,
Tyler got engaged. It's time for you to shout out to Tyler, by the way, getting engaged. But now it's your turn. 2025. It's the year.
Can we get on
She
with
got
the
you
show.
jewelry. I think that was a low key hint.
On to the show.
Tony, if you listening, it's coming this year. Don't worry, we got you. All
right.
right.
So yeah, let's get to the show.
All right. So because we took our break and it was a little bit unplanned, and then we just said, you know what, let's just give everybody a break. You know, it's holiday season, it's family time. We didn't get to do our traditional year-end show where we give out the Confidently Wrong Awards of 2024. So we're going to do that today, even though it's a little bit into January, but that's okay. It's still pretty close. And
Cue the music.
do we have some Oscar Confidently Wrong 2024 awards music?
Violins.
Yeah. We need a full orchestral arrangement here. Let's call John Williams. Maybe he's available, I think. Or Hans Zimmer. We could use some Hans Zimmer in here. So let's just start it off. We got categories in different shows. As a reminder, each of us has the opportunity to nominate, one, and give our take on that. We'll be responding a little bit and, telling each other why we're wrong also as we go. But we're going to start with the most hype moment of 2024. We did argue about the definition of those a little bit, and then we decided, it's just go with it. Just embrace the moment, zen it. We'll be all right. So I'll start this one off. Mine is that I love, like, you guys know this, like, I'm kind of corny, but I love, like, clever, tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, very, very corny. Tongue-in-cheek surprises. It's just like anything that kind of takes me off guard, that requires like just a tiny bit of like, oh, you had some insider knowledge here, and then they subverted your expectation, and it's over and done with, and it's quick. Like that's my jam. So this year, there was one particular moment in a piece of media that did this really well, and it was Deadpool and Wolverine, which you might be like, Wes, that whole movie was about tongue-in-cheek references and things like that. But there was one moment that really got me, and it got the whole theater hype, which was, Deadpool is just really excited to meet his hero, and he's so hyped he's gonna say the catchphrase, and then Chris Evans has his moment, and instead of saying Avengers Assemble, he says Flame On, and then turns into Johnny Storm. And I really thought he was gonna be, Captain America, and he was not. So me and Deadpool both got fooled. And then they just, they turned him into to Johnny Flame or Johnny Storm, and he falls onto the sign on his nuts, and just a huge like subversion of expectations. I was really excited for it to be Chris Evans, or for it to be Captain America, and then also really dying of laughter that it was not Chris Evans or not Captain America at all. So that was my most hype moment 2024.
What's hilarious is that they could have done that with the same exact bit with Michael B. Jordan. How crazy is that? Like, man, double whiff on Fantastic Four. Glad to know it's coming in 2025 for us again.
Yeah, I think it should be good. They've got like a whole retro like vibe going to it, so we'll see what it turns out to be. We've been talking a lot in the chats about Marvel Rivals, and so they're throwing those characters in to kind of tie in, which will be kind of nice. So I think Marvel's trying to get all its different media properties to kind of build up to the Fantastic Four. Savon, what was your most hype moment?
Yeah, for me, it's pretty straightforward. It was this new season of House of the Dragon.
I forgot that show happened this year.
Yeah, we spent a lot of stuff came out this year. We watched a lot of stuff this past year.
We did.
Like, quite a bit. And
still not enough, right? There was like so much we didn't watch.
Yeah, I mean, low-key, it wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
But no, we had spent the whole first season talking about, all right, it's build-up. What's going to happen? We're waiting for dragons to get busy. We got season 2. The dragons started to get busy. They had the episode about the dance of the dragons.
Sex. They did not show dragons.
I think people could piece that together.
They did not. No.
Good Lord.
Thank God.
It's like working at a school with y'all sometimes.
You guys get busy at school?
Jesus.
The dragons were really, really dope. We were hyped up about them, like, oh, what's up with the dragon fights? Then we finally got the dragon fights, and I felt like everybody just ended up being deeply uncomfortable because we're thinking it's these cool, mythical, choreographed dragon fights, and it's actually what a dragon fight would look like, which is just two beasts clawing at each other, slashing each other's chests, screaming in pain. burning people,
smashing them,
crashing into shit. It was like, it's so dope, but it was one of those, like, in movies you see fights where people are ducking, parrying, it's a dance. And then you see a real fight, like a world star hip hop fight, and it's like, oh, yo, real street fights do not look graceful. They're brutal, and if we're gonna really be honest, uncomfortable. It's like, you ever seen like just two dogs fighting, and you're like, there's nothing cool about what I'm seeing right now. Can someone like make this stop? That's how I felt watching the dragons fight. I was like, oh, this is so not cool. But it was simultaneously the most hype shit ever.
What was the name? Kristen Cole. He had the same reaction.
Yeah, he was just like, Kristen Cole became a depressed nihilist after seeing the dragons get busy. He saw that and was like, man, this is some bullshit. He's just like, yo, man, this is enemy AC 130 above. We are out of our depths. But no, I absolutely love the hype.
Ain't no point in none of this.
Yeah, but it was a very weird mix of hype that was like excitement and horror at the same time.
Fair.
Really good moment.
Fair. That's a good moment of 2024. I forgot that. I really forgot that show was this year. I thought it was last year. Brian, what was your most hype moment of 2024?
So if hype equates to something that makes you uncomfortable, but you're excited by it at the same time,
emotional response.
Truly, the most hype moment is when our good innocent friend Victor on the Penguin gets snuffed out by Oz Cobb on a bench after he's just told him, like, you and me, we're family. Oz, we're family. And Oz is like, well, you know what happens to family? I think family's gotta go. And just chokes him out as they're locking eyes with each other. And his poor surrogate son is just like saying, no, why?
Yeah.
That was a hype moment for me.
After Vic just bailed him out that same episode, it's like, dude, you owe Vic your life. Like, Vic is 100% the reason you're doing any of this. He gave a whole motivational speech, hyped everybody up, did all this, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'm a real dick.
Yeah, we thought he made it through the season. He did not.
And he crashed the car into the people who were holding him hostage, right? To save him.
Vic bailed out your boy a couple
came back
times.
Multiple times, yes.
Yeah.
And saved your boy. That was rough. That was a great moment, but man, that one was like, again, deeply uncomfortable, deeply visceral, deeply like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Made me not want to watch the show anymore. I was like, man.
No, actually, it made me love the show even more.
Well, good luck. Good stuff. There's no show left to watch after that. So I don't watch this shit no more. Good. There's no more show. It's over. Oz won.
All right. Let's that actually takes us to our next award. Which I'm kind of excited for this one because there was kind of a weird TV like happening this year. I feel like it was kind of front loaded with a bunch of shows, and then there was like a sporadic show here and there, and then at the end we got a couple of shows. So things like The Penguin were happening, Fallout happened this year, or came out this year, Shogun came out this year,
Invincible Part 2, I think the second half of Invincible came out this year.
Season 2 was out this year. Agatha was this year. A couple of Star Wars shows like Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, which I've been kind of enjoying Skeleton Crew, honestly, but it's not because
you're a child.
It's not amazing. Yeah,
even Creature Commando, we got it the Super Tail, and granted,
I haven't checked that out yet. You've liked it, right?
There's a new season of Squid Game out.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of stuff out there, man.
X-Men 97. I forgot we talked about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So yeah, and a ton, and then House of the Dragon. So there's been a lot of TV on this year that's been pretty good.
I was watching Bridgerton. New season of Bridgerton was out this year. I was watching that.
Bridgerton. Yes. Thank God we're finally talking about that.
No one wants to know about that, Savon. See, wifey material. You're ready. It's time. Get down on one knee, sir. All right. We'll start it off. Let's go.
I'm usually on both knees.
Savon, I want to know, what is your winner for best TV show of the year?
X-Men 2024. Now, there was a lot of good stuff. Like, I could do honorable mentions. Like, Fallout was an honorable mention. Bridgerton, House of the Dragon, a lot of like that was stuff. But in terms of just top to bottom, I was hanging on to every episode. X-Men 97. It was a weird concept, I thought, to do an X-Men show that's spinning off the 97 series. They could have easily have just done something completely different and modernized, and I think it still could have worked well. But the way they really took the 90s series, capitalized on nostalgia, modernized it, upped the rating a little bit without it being an adult show, but still made it more serious in terms of just blood and, you know, it wasn't just a children's show where characters can't punch each other anymore.
It was a thirsty show. On
the slick. Some of the characters they toned down design from the 90s. Like some people they flatten out the ass. But regardless, X-Men 97 was way better than I expected it to be. I didn't think it was gonna be bad, but I didn't expect the writing, the scenes, the character moments to all just be like the way Storm got to just be amazing. You know, we got to finally see Cyclops get some recognition because he's been done dirty for decades. We got to see a dope kind of not villain version of Magneto on his anti-hero path. Like we got to see Rogue tearing up military bases and just bullying Captain America out of his shield. You know, Magneto EMPing the world at the time. X-Men 97 was just very ambitious, and they could have taken a very lazy, safe route. But I thought the show was very ambitious, fun to watch, creative, great writing, leaned into the whole mutants as disenfranchised members of society. And I think I mentioned when we reviewed the show, one of the only shows in X-Men media that I think really sold me on mutants being a persecuted group. But I didn't expect that from a reboot of the 90s X-Men show. Like I wasn't expecting to get all of that quality content. So I'm due for a rewatch. That was a really good show. I can't wait for season 2.
Maybe it makes sense though that was done in a TV show, right? Hard to establish that kind of long-term idea in something like a movie. So
well, the thing is, like, remember we talked about how I was a kid, I didn't really watch the 90s series, and I was able to follow the plot just fine. They didn't wipe the board slate at all. They did it from the pickup of the finale in the 90s. So like I thought that was a bold move continuity wise of bringing in a new audience, because even if you watched the old show, no one remembered all that after all those years. But
no, yeah.
They still did the story in a way where people who never watched the original series could still follow it and not be left out at all. I think that's really hard to do.
That was a wild storyline though, where they had Jean Grey.
There were a lot of wild storylines.
Jean Grey had the baby, but then it turns out that it wasn't Jean Grey, and it was this other lady.
But that's wild. But that's one of the cool things is that it was
such a soap opera.
Cyclops still had a psychic connection with the other lady.
But literally,
those very days of our lives, wasn't it? Now that we say it that way.
No, but X-Men comics with Scott,
surprise,
Jean, and
Professor
Wolverine
X isn't dead.
But literally, the X-Men comics was basically days of, like you're saying, it's so dramatic. Days of our lives. I'm like, yeah, that's how it kind of was. Half the time,
like,
it's
so
just Scott, Wolverine, Jean, just like, dude, Wolverine, piss off, bro. You are really effing this up for my guy Scott. But yeah, I'll pass it. That was my jam.
Nicely done. Brian, what was your best TV show of 2024?
So I actually I filmed one of these like best of things for a temp gig I did, and like the TV show beat writer for that magazine admitted that it was a weak year for TV. She said this off camera.
No, she should have said it on camera.
It's kind of like hard to like pick some of the stuff. The stuff that she picked, I've never even watched before. But
okay.
Keep that in mind. I do kind of think there were a lot of things that we were excited for that were like okay. House of the Dragon was good and fun and whatever. Wasn't like great or anything. Like the Bear season 3 they kind of whiffed a little bit. Penguin was a pleasant surprise.
It was.
So the show that I'm gonna give my award to is kind of a sleeper. Mr. and Mrs. Smith from the very beginning of 2024.
Sleeper is right. I wanted to go to sleep while watching that show.
You just don't know what you're watching. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was the only show this year that actually surprised me and like did so continuously throughout the whole season. Like every single episode was not formulaic and actually presented a new type of show almost in every single episode. So, early on they're Mr. and Mrs. Smith are still trying to figure out what they're doing as these sort of like high level contract criminal killer type secret ops people. They get into one kind of caper and try to figure it out. Further down in the season, they meet other people who are part of this underworld, and they try to become couple friends, but then they end up taking like the most dangerous kind of mission on that couple's behalf. And then, later on in the season, they're doing couples therapy and they're trying to work out all the issues that they're having together, and have some of the most intense, dramatic, confrontational dialogue that I saw all year long. Between these two characters who, at the same time as they're doing all the criminal stuff, they are actually going through the ups and downs of a serious relationship and trying to navigate that. And I just thought it was like kind of like an out of nowhere series, something that I wasn't expecting at all. But Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, the two leads, delivered every single episode. And I thought just like the way that it was all executed, from the writing to the acting to the cinematography, and just like the composition of the show, it was just always interesting. And was just like such a pleasant surprise in a way that nothing else was in TV for me this year. Like everything else felt kind of like a little more formulaic, a little more generic, didn't live up to their promise, whereas Mr. and Smith did the exact opposite.
I could not disagree more, but that's okay. It's your award. You win.
Yeah, we all know who has the best taste here. So, like,
you got the most pretentious taste. I don't know about best.
Me and Savon are like, that show was not as good as you were making it sound.
Yeah,
you're only calling it pretentious.
He's hyping this.
You're not at the level.
Brian's just in his room, in a sealed room, just inhaling his own farts. Just yes,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes,
Where do you think the Dior scent comes from?
getting high off his own supply. Mr. and Mrs. Smith wasn't a bad show by any means, but. And the dialogue, actually, I will admit, was really good. But there were just moments. You know what? I think the lack of an ending, or of like what was the ending, I think maybe took me out of it a little bit. Of like, hey, I feel like we did all that.
Yeah,
I feel like we did all that, and I was like, it didn't really stick the landing for me. I'm like, what was all that for? Now, if we get more, it might be.
Because they tried to kill each other.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no resolution to like it was all good up until like, okay, cool, cliffhanger. I wasn't crazy about I didn't get enough resolution before they went into a cliffhanger. That was probably my biggest gripe about the show. But it was a good show. It was doing something different, and I will give them props for just not being lazy about the show. I'll give you that. But there were moments where I'm like, this is a little, I don't want to say boring, but like kind of boring. It's like, it's good, it's just not sexy enough. And I will fully admit, I like gaudy, superficial Flash. I'm very open about that, so I can see why motherfuckers in couples counseling is like, why am I watching this? But good show.
I just didn't buy it.
Okay, nobody cares about your guys' takes, all right? This is my award.
Yeah, Brian, Matt.
I know, no, that's not right. Pick again.
F you guys.
Wait, that's what we gonna do.
We're bring it back to the award I'm gonna give out later.
We just gonna wait for Brian to say something and try again.
Little taboo. You want me to go get my taboo buzzers?
Little family feud. Just make the Steve Harvey face at him. Just, now, why in the hell would you say something like that? Brian is so mad at us.
I felt like this year a lot of shows were like, they kind of started off really weak and then maybe had some redemption later on. I felt like Agatha was kind of like that for me. I didn't really enjoy the first few episodes. I liked the later few episodes. Invincible part 2, I did enjoy quite part 2 as far as I remember, but that was so long ago. I don't think I could get any details. And then there was another show that was kind of like that, where it like started out kind of weak and it had some good episodes later on. But the show that I want to nominate for my best TV show 2024, I felt like almost every single episode I was drawn in, I was engaged. I thought like the acting was like just really good and the story moved along really well and everything sort of connected. And it didn't feel like repetitive, but it also felt like entertaining and meaningful and all of that good stuff. Was The Penguin. And it wasn't on my radar before we ended up watching it. So shout out to Colin Farrell, really just like carrying that show, I think. And he had some really good foils, right? Like the person who plays Sophia, I thought she did a really great job. And then having Vic as the sidekick, who like quite a contrast to Vic's or not Vic to the Penguin's ruthlessness, to Oz's ruthlessness, and just like. And then they switched it up, not switched it up. And then they showed us like how his upbringing was, and how his relationship with his mom was just like all kinds of deranged. Just
understatement.
Yeah, just that like progression was really cool, and so I thought they did a really fantastic job on that show, and I think that's the show I enjoyed the most this year. So that was my pick, The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell. You can see it on HBO. I think most of our listeners probably watched it. It was a good one.
It was a really popular show. I think the show
of them.
got popular very organically, word of mouth. Like,
I thought so, yeah.
Like a lot of people were just like, "Hey, yo, this Penguin show good," and then a lot of folks who I think wouldn't have been interested were really drawn in.
Yeah. All right. This is the big granddaddy of them all. The best movie of the year. So, I don't know. I feel like
No, this is not the granddaddy of them all. I think there's awards I'm a little more invested in.
Really?
Than movie of the year. I don't want to. I don't speak for me on that. I got me. You know what I'm saying?
Movies are a big deal.
I made these questions. Damn it.
The I you were saying TV was a little weak this year. I think movies were actually a little bit on the lower end this year. I saw an Instagram post where they showed all the movies that came out in 2000, and holy cow, there were some bangers. Like we reviewed Gladiator, right? That was one of them, and there was just a whole slate of movies that were either entertaining and took hold in the kind of zeitgeist of America, or just movies that were just really good, and it spanned all kinds of genres, from comedy to dramas to action movies. There's a ton of action movies that year. So and if you include like 99, I think like Matrix was the year before that. So it's just like a really big movie year was 2000. And looking on the list for 2024, and it was like a couple action movies. There was a lot of like smaller movies that got made, one big animated movie or two big animated movies. And it just sort of, that was kind of it. So, I mean, like the list of movies I found were like Dune 2 or Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. Inside Out was, I think it was the biggest grossing movie of the year. There was a smaller movie called Sing Sing, which I didn't see, but I know it's gotten good reviews. Furiosa was this year, which, the follow-up to Mad Max Fury Road. And then we kind of finished out the year with Wicked. I don't know, were there any...
2.
And Moana 2.
I'm looking at top movies of the year.
Yeah.
Grossing. The top 10 is like starting from bottom to top. YOLO, Mufasa, Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, New Empire, Wicked, Dune 2, Moana 2, Despicable Me 4, Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2.
So, and some of those movies, I don't know, I feel like people didn't really see them. I mean, there's 5 or 6 of those on that list that I didn't see.
But Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing animated film of all time.
That makes sense. People loved Inside Out 1.
Yeah, Inside Out 2, but like Inside Out 2 do great, raked in bread.
Buku monies. All right, so that leads us to what was our best movie of the year. You could choose this in any way you want. You might go for like, it was the best well-made movie. It could be what movie did you enjoy the most? It's many ways to go with that. I think everybody slightly weights their criteria differently. Savon, what was your movie of the year, 2024 edition?
2024 edition movie of the year. I'm gonna go Inside Out 2. It was
Riley. We're back to the world of Riley.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all know me, I'm kind of not always up to date on what the hottest like animated movies is. Over the last like 10, 15 years, I've really kind of fallen off. I'm gonna really be honest. I still haven't seen the Frozen series at all, or Moana. But
you haven't seen Frozen?
Nah, Moana, Frozen, Coco, all that stuff, and Kanto. I haven't seen none of that. But Inside Out 2 is really good. I talked about when we reviewed it on the show that I had never seen a movie just conceptualize the human mind, anxiety, emotions, all of that in such a realistic way that adults and kids could relate to. I just thought it was a really ambitious concept that they ran with, made really well, and that opinion was vindicated by the fact that the movie makers did consult actual teenagers and child psychologists in the making of the movie. So it really felt like, okay, cool, they really put their hearts into this. But it was a good movie. It was funny, it was entertaining, the serious parts were good. Like, rarely have I just gone to a movie, watched the whole thing, walked out, and was like, that was just a damn good film. No notes. Like, cool. I paid $10. I got a great experience. No notes. That was a movie I was
Where?
like, shit, do I have anxiety? Nah.
You're like,
I'm like, oh, that's what anxiety look like? Oh, shit. But yeah, that was
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but that was my movie of the year. Really good
right.
stuff.
I think it's a good pick. It was a really solid movie, I think. Brian, what was your movie of the year? What's your high Brian pick this year?
Art House.
He's gonna say some indie movie that 4 people saw watch.
You guys didn't see Conclave?
No.
You see Conclave?
Never even heard
Come
of
on,
Conclave.
man. You didn't see Conclave when they chose the new pope?
No.
That was the most riveting thing of the year.
With the white smoke and the black smoke?
Actually, yes. See? My man knows.
Well, Catholic.
This is not actually my pick, but that was a good movie. That's a good movie.
All right.
My pick is coming with an asterisk because I have not been able to see a ton of stuff this year.
You were a busy boy this year.
I haven't seen Honora yet. I haven't seen Amelia Perez. I haven't seen
Never
The
heard
Brutalist.
Never heard
I haven't seen Craven, The Last Hunter yet.
I heard that was terrible.
You know,
well, shit,
so
Brian, you're on the same page as us, baby. We ain't seen nothing.
I'm missing out on a lot lot of things here.
You got to get your movie pass back up, bro.
Which I suspended. I suspended my movie pass. But I did just activate Movie Go. Anyway, my pick for best movie of the year then asterisk is Dune 2 because that's still just like, wow, what a cinematic experience. Dune 1 effing delivered, though, was maybe in my opinion a little messier. Dune 2 really brought it back again. Same kind of energy, maybe even a better story. And come on, like who wasn't shouting out Lisan Al Gaib like all summer long? Like, yeah, Wadib, right? Like, come on, man. That stuff was just like awesome. Like the voice, the big sandworm set pieces, the giant machines, the action, and the hand-to-hand knife fights. Come on, like the black and white Coliseum gladiator nod type knife fight that happens when they first introduce the bald-headed dude. I forget his name, which was just like the most over-the-top stylized fight probably in the whole movie and in movies this year. And then you get the final fight between Paul Atreides and the same guy in a knife fight at the end of the movie. Like all of it was just like, give me more popcorn. Dune 2 was just it was just a stand apart cinematic experience. So going with that one.
Nice.
But maybe it's Honora. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
You have to check it out. I've never heard of any of those other movies you've mentioned, by the way.
Me neither.
You gotta watch Craven, man. Craven the Last Hunter. Missing out.
If that was on in my backyard, I would close the blinds.
I would light fire to the backyard.
I don't understand why Sony puts these movies out knowing they're bad. Like they have
the
to
rights
know they're
to
bad.
them. It's like a use it or lose it type deal. Like they got the rights to the movie. Use them or lose it.
They have to know they're bad.
That's all they're doing.
Wes, I just get you asked a question. I gave you an answer.
Yeah,
they
really think
they
that's
have
the
a
reason?
contract. Yes, and they can make so many movies. You know, if they don't, all of it just relinquishes back to.
But don't they
Marvel,
like lose money on
which
these things?
they don't want to do?
Yeah, but don't they lose money? Like sell the rights back to Marvel or something. You know, like make money off of the thing that you're trying to save. I don't know.
Maybe they do make money off of these.
Do they?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know.
Clearly,
I don't know anybody that saw it.
Wes, in them people mind, I don't know the details. I'm not gonna pretend to be some accountant or how insurance and all that other shit work. But they got the rights to the characters, and for them, it's better to use it than to lose it. Now, are you going to get a mediocre movie? Yes, but they rather do that than not make anything.
Yeah, they probably retain because they still technically have the rights to like
Spider-Man, yeah.
Right. So like even if Marvel Studios is making those movies now, they're probably getting money off of that.
Yeah,
still,
I guess that's true.
Right.
Well, but like,
so
it's fine.
Just by them holding on to the rights by making these bad movies that lose money.
They have to know they're bad,
maybe
right?
Maybe the ledger actually balances out in their favor because they're still making money off of the Spider-Man stuff.
Maybe. But I mean, you could just not make them and just make money off the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but
right?
then there's also
you'd lose the license. That's what we're saying.
But them losing the rights is worse than to them losing the rights to the character.
It must be, but that's
look
crazy.
at it, Wes. Look at it this way: even if the movies suck, it's better to have the rights to a very profitable character and the chance that you can maybe make something off of it than just to, like, you can maybe make a good movie with Spider-Man rights. You definitely won't if you just relinquish the rights altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see Venom. Yeah, I didn't see the new Venom.
Yeah,
jeez, like this is such a huge asterisk.
But people like those Venom movies though. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made 3 of them.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's a similar logic, right? Like, you don't gotta like.
But those might have been a little better.
Yeah, but that's the logic. Like, okay, if these Venom movies make bread, then when people like them, then why would we give up the rights to this extremely profitable, highly coveted character? Even if the movies are mid, you know, it's better to take a swing and miss than not swing at all.
And may I remind you, Madam Web was in the top 10 movies on Netflix for quite some time. So people are watching.
Yeah, well, they don't have to pay for it. They're watching.
Yeah, but Netflix.
No, but they make money off of licensing to Netflix.
But Netflix, like, people hate watch stuff. Like, even Venom, I'm looking at it. Venom cost $100 million, but it made like half a bill. So like, just because a movie bad doesn't mean that somebody ain't still making money.
All right. My favorite movie of the year was Deadpool and Wolverine, by far, and it was like the one that I was excited for and did not disappoint me. I laughed through that entire movie, enjoyed some of the quieter moments and the emotional moments, loved some of the cameos.
Was there emotion in that movie?
The what?
Was there emotion in that movie?
I think a little bit.
Not really.
I didn't love the Gambit cameo as much as everybody else did, like the Channing Tatum one, but still fun to see him in there. It was a good times. Seeing Wesley Snipes show up back as Blade, and then say like, I'm still going to be the only Blade.
and then the meta reference of like, oh, he might actually end up being the only Blade, even though
they postponed Blade again,
indefinitely.
and I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it sounds like they're gonna cut it, which is fine, because that's
it's not fine.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine in the overall global Marvel Cinematic Universe arc, which I want to mention at the very end. Nothing groundbreaking.
Feels racially motivated.
Talk to him.
All right, so those are our best movies of the year. We got
didn't say no.
Inside Out 2, Dune 2. I'm just not even gonna engage. Dune 2, Dune Part 2, and then Deadpool and Wolverine, aka Deadpool 3. So
original this list.
We went for the sequels, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes
sometimes sequels are good. And also, I do think this year was a little bit weaker on the movies that we had to see. So it is what it is. All right, let's go a little bit quicker here. Maybe a little less explanation on some of these. Best video game of the year 2024. I didn't play a ton of video games this year that weren't Apex Legends. So my best video game is Marvel Rivals. Came out at the very end, like in December, I think it released for
December 7th.
Not the beta, but the exact day. Pearl Harbor Day. Love it. Day before my birthday. That's how I know that, because it's day before my birthday. So yeah, Marvel Rivals.
That's weird. You're like the. Never mind. Never mind.
Where are we going with that?
Really, really, really fun places. I didn't say nothing. I was just like,
Glad that we self-censored that one. Wherever that was going, it was not going to be a good place.
That wasn't going nowhere good. It wasn't going nowhere good. So when you said Pearl Harbor, I was like, all right, let me just shut up till we get to the next part.
And it's been fun. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. I think we're going to talk about it more on our next episode. So we'll save some of that conversation for later. Brian, what was your game of the year? Did you game this year? You didn't talk about it.
Game a ton. Last of Us 2 Remastered. Anyone play that?
Did you play the whole thing?
I played the new arcade mode that they put into it, which is actually
you didn't
really
finish the story
awesome.
mode yet? Oh, you did
finished
it a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like one of our first episodes ever.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't replay the game. I played the new arcade mode that they
I see. Okay.
Nice.
They created for that, which is a lot of fun. But I mean, I didn't play a ton of stuff. I played like some older games. I think the default best game has to be like Zelda Echoes of the Kingdom. The first Zelda game where you play Zelda herself as the main character.
What's the premise?
And it's basically like, Link has been trapped in some parallel world, and Zelda takes the reins, and she doesn't she doesn't use a sword and shield like Link does. Instead, she has a special ability to create mimics of things in the world. So she can create mimics of bad guys, of monsters in the game,
Nice.
of objects like beds and crates and things like that. And basically manipulates the environment so that she can traverse it. So, like rather than fighting enemies, she'll send some other type of enemy to fight those enemies
For her.
right? For her, or to scale a wall, maybe she'll, cast a spider and attach herself to said spider to crawl up the side of a
That's cool.
Of a
Okay,
cliff.
I like
so,
that. I like
so
that.
stuff like that. So
you don't need a whole engineering degree to to
I
finish
mean,
the game.
You don't, but like the game in a way that in the same way that Tears of the Kingdom and the same way that Breath of the Wild did, like it introduces all these interesting new mechanics that you can just have a lot of fun toying around with and figuring out different ways to navigate the game world.
What's the ratio of
I
main
think
character?
that's my default best game of the year, just because I haven't played a ton.
You said she's a main character. What's the ratio of her versus Link? Like Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, it's like 95% to 5.
Oh, okay. So like to be clear,
she's like, yeah.
So to be clear,
you're
Breath of the Wild, you play as Link.
Yes.
Tears of the Kingdom, they expanded on all of that in terms of the same world, but they made the flip sky, and they make like an expansion of the world.
Yeah.
And
this does not take place in the same world as those two games, though.
I'm sorry. Oh, this is a totally different. Oh, so wait, so there was Tears of the Kingdom. Wait, there was Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then what was this one?
This is Echoes of the Kingdom.
Echoes, not Tears. Okay. So this is all right. Oh, that's really. Ooh, I didn't realize that this was like a main
this is more like
Zelda. This is a flagship Zelda game with Zelda as the lead, not like a
spin-off. It's not a flagship game because this is more like a SNES style Zelda game. It's sort of a throwback style, so it's like it's more like you're playing on a grid rather than being in a 3D world like Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I just Googled it and see the venue. Okay, I see. All right. Okay, that looks fun. All right. I like that. Nice.
Savon, what was your biggest game or best game of the year?
So I actually did play a decent amount of games this year. Marvel Rivals, Apex, Tekken.
Tekken was fun.
Yeah, Tekken came out this year. Baldur's Gate 3.
Our 1 hour of experience with it.
Hey, but
I love that fun. 1 hour.
Hey, that was good. It was a good hour.
But y'all had fun. Me sitting watching y'all two just fight like I'm just at the gladiator games. Just
yes. Sweep kick, kick block, sweep kick, kick block.
Finish him.
High kick, low kick, high kick, low kick.
Heel kick. Yeah. But so I played a decent amount of games. You know me, I love replaying my stuff. But I'll talk more about this. And I know it didn't come out this year, but like it came out late 2023. For me, it's Baldur's Gate. I got the game a year late on purpose, knowing that I was going to enjoy it. I just needed to wait until my gaming, kind of like,
That's such a Savon thing to do.
What?
I'm not going to get it right now. I know I'll like it. I'll get it later.
My hands were full with games I was playing at the time. There was a bunch of stuff occupying me.
Right.
So when it opened up, it was one of those. I played it and it's lived up to all my hype. I'll talk more about that in our next episode.
It does seem like a little bit of a yellow flag here that you are nominating a 2023 game for 2024.
Well, it was late 2023, but also,
I'm Googling it right now. It was August 3rd, 2023 for PC, and September 6th, 2023 for PlayStation.
September ain't late?
No, September's not late.
Oh, shit.
Like the last.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I started playing it in 2024, so it's my top 2024 game.
All right, fair enough.
I don't need y'all. If it's new to me, damn it, it's new. All right?
That is true.
If I say, hey, I tried this new restaurant. Oh, this food's been around for hundreds of years. All right, well, it's new to me, damn it. So if someone says, what was
Turkish food
new thing you had this year? I'm going to say from my timeline of experience, not when it came out for the rest of you jabronis.
Nice. I'd never had Turkish food. We went to a Turkish restaurant last night.
How was it? It
was good. It was very similar to other... Shut up. It was very similar to other Mediterranean food. So it was good, like lamb and sauces, falafel, that kind of stuff. So very much similar to other food in the region.
Mm-hmm. But I want to honorable mention Shadow of the Erdtree, the Elden Ring DLC that came out this past summer. That was also really fun. Haven't had to play the DLC like that. That was damn near its own standalone game. The amount of content, value, new challenges, refining of systems already in the game. I had a blast. Like that month, I think I remember we were playing stuff, Wes, and I was kind of MIA that period of time. I was like, sorry, I'm fighting this Elden Ring boss. I'm in that blender right now, and I had a lot of fun with that. But I'm gonna give the this is a good year for games. But I'm still gonna give it to Baldur's Gate in terms of new things I've played, because that was some real stuff.
All right, sounds good.
Damn right.
I don't know anything about Baldur's Gate. It doesn't sound like a game I'd want to play, but
it's really complicated. Like it's
you lost me at complicated. Let's keep going.
It's a lot of mechanics. It's Dungeons and Dragons. You wouldn't like D&D, so
okay, yeah,
you wouldn't like Baldur's Gate.
The next award, this is a throwback. We did this last year as well. I think it was a good one. The Stole the Show Award. So this is the award for anything that was not the reason you tuned into that thing or that piece of media, but it ended up being really amazing. I'll go first. For me, I didn't love this show overall. I thought it was good, but not great. And it certainly wasn't the reason I tuned in. I really wanted to just see like the story, this epic, visualization of this, grand story in a kind of an an older time. And it was Shogun, and I really, enjoyed some of the like character interactions and stuff. Didn't necessarily love that like the white guy was the savior. That part was a little bit iffy. But Anna Sawai, who plays what's her name, Mariko in the show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she did like a fantastic job, kind of all over the place, right? Like walking this knife edge of I'm vulnerable but also strong. I'm sad, but I'm also like somehow still like engaged and optimistic. She just like had all these complexities that she was able to portray in the show, and I felt like she navigated like all these situations well, just like from an actor's point of view, or from an actor's point of view, and then she was important to the show, and they did a good job there. So I thought she was like, anytime she was on the screen, it was like really fun to watch, like how the scenes were going to play out. Brian, what was your Stole the Show award for 2024?
All right, I'm going to bring up a terrible show called The Acolyte. Who remembers The Acolyte? It's awful. Actually, it wasn't as bad as it seemed.
After reviews from people who hadn't even seen the show yet, like people were review bombing it before it even came out, even though the show was flawed.
Because you could just tell it was like not going to be the best.
Are we really about to do that? We're not about to defend review bombing shit that isn't even out yet because of vibes.
It's Star Wars, man. It's Star Wars.
Brian,
Whatever.
You don't gotta like it, Brian. But you don't gotta like it, Brian. But I hold you to a higher standard than that. Be better. If you're gonna dislike some shit, I need you to watch it and say it's not good, or just not watch it. Don't watch it, hate, and then.
I watched the entirety of The Acolyte. Yes. I can't even tell you why. Actually, maybe I know why, because what stole the show, the reason, not the reason that I tuned in, but turned out to be amazing, was the main villain of the show. Surprise, surprise. It's Jason Mendoza from The Good Place. I can't for the life of me remember this actor's real name. But like they basically cast against type in the best way, right? They like take the, kind of like the stoner idiot from The Good Place and make him kind of a shaggy character at first in the series, but turns out he's being duplicitous, and he's like a fallen Jedi, maybe Sith Lord type person, training his Padawan to follow in his footsteps. And when he gets to pop off mid-season against a team of Jedi Knights and gets going, dude is a monster, right? Like he is knifing people left and right and doing like the most badass kills, right? He's like, one-handing one person in the stomach and then slicing another person with another lightsaber with his other hand, and just like being the most badass version of a Jedi killer that you could possibly imagine. And it's so cool coming from the stoner dude from The Good Place. You just wouldn't expect it.
A certified idiot.
Exactly.
Shout out to Blake Bortles.
Exactly. It just makes it that much sweeter, and it's like, yes, thank God. I love seeing Jedi die.
Wow.
And they really showed it. They really showed it. Like, that show was a mess top to bottom, but their fight scenes were actually choreographed and shot quite well. And Jason Mendoza had the best of them.
I like it. I like that take. Savon, what was your stole the show award? Not the reason you tuned in, but ended up really amazing.
Yeah, Agatha all along. Again, that was one of those. I had solid hopes, but it depended on what they did with the show on some creative stuff. But Ilya, actually played Ilya, our fortune telling elderly Italian psychic, ended up being one of my just favorite characters. I believe the actress's name is Patti LuPone. She's got a very long, illustrious career, but yeah, the body language, the fact, and this is a testament to the writing too, right? Of her character always having those weird flashes, but then they made the flashes a part of one of the best, like, Jim dropping a bomb on you moments in the show of, oh, she's been experiencing the show out of order, but then she's actually probably one of the biggest movers of the plot behind the scenes. Plus, she was just well acted. She has those out of body moments, and then there's a part, when she had that episode where she's just having out of body experiences going to her past to figure out her future, but then throughout the episode, she is like, at one moment doesn't know what's going on, and then retroactively does know. Was one, great writing and storytelling, but the acting and how she brought it together, and then being cool with her own death was just that episode. The whole show you could rewatch for her whole just like mini arc, but that episode in particular, top tier, stole the show. She's one of my favorite characters. It breaks my heart that she had to die, but man, that was just that's what happens when you just get a damn good actor and they'll just elevate whatever it is you put in front of them.
I do think the acting in that show was really good. I think everybody did a really good job.
Like, that was just good acting, bro. Like, just there's not even any.
Yeah.
Like, she just was doing her job. She said, "All right, coach, just to play, bet." She executed. Like, she did that thing where she's clearly the veteran eldest actor in the show, and it shows.
I love it. All right, love those stole the shows. We got Lilia from Agatha All Along. Manny Jacinto, that's his name. I looked it up.
That's a good one.
Who played, what was his name? Key in Acolyte. And then Anna Sawai plays Mariko from Shogun. So those are our solo shows. So go check those out and go focus on those characters.
Hell yeah.
Biggest surprises of 2024. Could be good, could be bad, just biggest surprises. That it wasn't, unfortunately, a big surprise that Donald Trump got elected, but it is what it is. Brian, what was your biggest surprise of 2024?
X-Men 97, wasn't expecting that at all. Rewind and listen to what Savon said.
Nice.
All of that.
It was the biggest surprise for me of 2024 that I actually have dropped Apex Legends for the most part. I've been playing that game straight up since when, like 2019, maybe 2020
when it came out.
And I don't think I've ever taken a break from it. And since Marvel Rivals came out, I've only played it twice. To the point where I'm like just relying on muscle memory to do things. Like, I just load up Pathfinder. I'm like, I don't know what buttons are doing what buttons. Hopefully it's in there in my brain somewhere, and it is. But I have to actively think about like what I'm doing in that game now, because I've been out of it for over a month now. So that was the biggest surprise of 2024.
That's true.
Apex Legends on the downfall. It might be out of rotation. I'm not sure. I'm not ready to buy the battle passes anymore for that game. So
you broke your addiction with a new addiction.
With a new addiction.
Great. We played some Apex the other day. Me, Tyler, we played one game of ranked and we got a win and said, "All right, cool, let's go back to some Marvel Rivals."
Yeah,
like, we hadn't played in a month. Played one ranked game, got a dub. I was like, "All right, cool." It's
yeah.
still fun, but Marvel Rivals is just a really good palate cleanser right now.
Don't be sad don't be sad that it's over. Just be glad for the times you had.
People be mad games don't last forever, man. If a game is fun like that for 5 years, that's a good run. Like,
that's a good run.
If it's not as fun, cool. Play something new.
I'm with you. All right, Brian, what was your biggest surprise? Oh no, you said it. Savon, what was your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is that Wesley has no memory.
Not a surprise at all.
That's not a surprise at all. That's like you could. Yeah, for me,
set your clocks by that one.
For me, big surprise: the Fallout TV series. My stance on a lot of video game, like we're basing this off a video game, there's a lot of pitfalls you can fall into, right? It's how do you maintain the tone of the original story? How much of it are you changing? Are you making this for people who've never played this game, or are you making it only for people who have played this game? Like, there's a lot of, is this a rated R game that we're toning down or toning up? There's a lot of things that can go wrong, right? Some games, just the story doesn't lend itself to a TV or a movie series thing. And you get things like Borderlands, the Borderlands movie that totally missed everything that the game series was about and was rightfully panned, right? And was an awful movie.
So I didn't see the Borderlands movie. Asterisk again.
It was god awful. From the trailer, you can see, they don't know who this movie was for. It wasn't for gamers. It wasn't people who never played the game. They just made it like a...
Too many people got involved and were like, let's make it for this and that and that.
And
it's
it
like,
had no identity.
Lost the vision.
This Fallout show, I thought, could have fallen into that, and it avoided that pitfall masterfully. It kept the rated R mature tone of, hey, this is a violent world. People get their brains blown out. People cannibalize and do awful violent shit, and they didn't scav away from that. But also, it's this very retro futuristic alternate version of America. Everyone has a poppy optimistic look to things too, and they kept that aesthetic well, kept it true to the game, but they weren't a slave all the way to the game's lore by being able to do a mix of their own story in this established world. And they just hit all the nails on the head. People could one moment get brutally killed, and then the next moment you have these really cheesy, cartoony looking, characters and stuff, and these weird mutants and over the top, almost campy stuff, and it works. But that show, and I talk about this all the time, Fallout had an artistic vision and someone who knew what they wanted it to be, and that gave us a damn good show. But there are a bazillion ways where they could have gone completely off the rails and missed that mark. And I think this is a show like Fallout. A few creative decisions behind the scenes can have this be a show that's winning awards to like this is some of the worst shit I ever seen. Why are they putting all this money behind this? And it's easy for Amazon to throw money at something and not give you a quality product. They threw money at it, big budget, and it turned out great because of strong creative direction. But I was skeptical at first. Straight up, I was like, what are these people finna do? But it was so good, people started playing Fallout 4 again, myself included. I did a whole little playthrough because of that damn show.
Pleasant surprise.
I heard that Amazon, speaking of Amazon Prime, that they throw a lot of money around, that Lord of the Rings, whatever the show is called, Power of the Ring or something like that.
The Rings of Power.
That second season was good. What?
Yep.
Nobody liked the second season.
Oh, nobody liked it. Oh, I thought it turned out good. Okay, I take it back. That's just what I thought I heard.
I think they had minorities in it, so people was getting a little worked up.
We're gonna skip the worst thing you watched in 2024. If you want to know our picks, DM us. We'll let you know.
The Razzie. We're not gonna say what the Razzie goes to.
No, we're gonna keep it positive. We're gonna keep it moving. The show is, we're bordering on an hour. We want to keep it, to 1 hour or less for most of our shows if we can, just to respect people's time, as our KIP meetings love to say. We're gonna respect.
None of this hour has been respectful.
In the interest of respecting your time.
Everyone has been slighted in this podcast at some point. Brian over his movie taste, me over timelines of what's new, Wes over just information retention. Like, it's
none.
weird.
I have none.
All right.
I need to sleep more. I think that's what I've decided. And I never do it because I keep playing Marvel Rivals starting at 10 o'clock. Idiot. All right. Most confidently wrong take of 2024. What was your most confidently wrong take? I have to go back, and I don't know if I did it on the show, but I certainly defended our breakdancing friend Raygun immediately in the aftermath of her iconic performance. Maybe iconic in all the wrong ways, but iconic.
Yeah, why you did infamous is the word we're looking for.
But still iconic. People know it. And I was like, this lady who's at the Olympics, trying her best, assumably, whatever, like maybe it wasn't a good performance, but do we need to like bully this lady like on a mass scale, like millions of people just like shitting on her when like, pretending to be armchair dance like experts or whatever. It's just like, guys, like, I love your passion for it, but it's like it's just the Olympics, and it's just this small event that you've never seen before. So like, what are you criticizing for? Where are you coming from on this knowledge? And you know, and it also felt a little gendered, like, you know, like we're making fun of this woman who whatever, like, didn't do as good as like men. Like, they kept being like, look at this, and they'd show like the men's battles. It's like, that's a completely different category, guys. But anyways, I turned out to be wrong, because in the aftermath of all that, Raygun has doubled down and, you know, defended herself, her performance, shown up at plenty of different concerts and done her breakdancing there too, and has sort of, you know, taken on that spotlight mantle as obnoxious person number one. So I was wrong. Feel free to continue bullying this woman, and you know, I'm okay with that now. Brian, what was your most confidently wrong take of 2024?
Reagan is truly awful, by the way. She, like,
right?
The more media attention she gets, the less credit she gives to true breakers, true b-boys, b-girls.
So I'm saying
doesn't shout out anybody, doesn't give props to the community, nothing. Nothing. She just like takes it all for herself.
Thumbs down.
Person. Awful.
Yep.
Feel free. That was my issue in the first place. It's like, yo, just don't talk about her. Talk about the people who were absolutely cooking.
Most confidently wrong take of mine. I don't have one because they're all good takes. The worst take, though, goes to Wesley. It always goes to Wesley. I don't even have like a specific one to point out. You can just like put them all into like one of those bingo ball rotator machines and just like pick one out of the hat. Whichever works as an example here. This war perpetually, it's a lifetime achievement award. That's what this is. To my good friend.
I had a hard time coming up with a confidently wrong one for this year. I felt like I was nailing it this year, so I don't know what you're talking about. I think that bingo ball thing it's got one bingo ball, and it was Raygun. So I don't know. I think you're gonna have to come up with specifics.
One bingo ball can be bigger than the others, but this is, you know what I'm saying?
That basket is full.
It's a proportion-based system of there's multiple balls, but they're different sizes based on just the egregiousness of set take.
I was really excited for Dalton Connect, and that has not panned out either. Yeah, so maybe a smaller bingo ball.
Yeah, but you was defending Reagan. I was like, "Hey, B, this ain't a hill to die on."
I wasn't necessarily defending her so much as like anti-bullying somebody just because they tried in the Olympics.
But I don't think she tried.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. It's unclear. It was unclear at the time. Now it seems a little more clear. But
it was clear, like, what is this shit? That was clear. But I get you.
All right. Savon, what was your most confidently wrong take of 2024?
So I had two of them I was bouncing between, because for both of them, and it was on this pod on record, I was very adamant about my dislike. The big one was I was very adamant about not wanting to see Wicked, because I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to see all that singing and shit.
Yeah.
And I was adamant about not wanting to see Penguin, because I'm like, yo, B, why does every Batman side character get their own effing show? Like I said, we had Harley Quinn, effing Penguin, Alfred, young
Joker
Bruce,
movies.
teen Bruce, adult Bruce. I'm waiting for the old man Bruce movie. We'll get a baby Bruce movie, just Batman baby Bruce movie before his parents died. Like, we're going to get every damn thing before we get a Nightwing movie, but that's neither here nor there.
Ooh, I would love to see a Nightwing movie.
Yeah, but I could not have been more low about a Penguin movie. I did not want to see that at all, period. And I ended up watching the Batman movie to get some context on the character, and the show was great. Everything, like, I think, again, I said this before, my general complaint of, hey, nobody asked for this shit, I think I'm still right on that. Not every side character needs a full big budget show.
Yeah. But
it was a good, well-written, well-put together big budget show, and I can fully concede, like, okay, I didn't ask for this, but this was really good, and, you know, I can admit when I'm wrong on that. I still don't want more Batman side character spinoff shows, even, you know.
Yeah.
I still don't need more of that. Use that energy to make a good show for a different character, but a good show is a good show. Colin Farrell was a beast. Big was a beast. The whole clan, you know, I shine my praises about Clancy Brown in that show all the time because I'm a big Clancy Brown fan. Really good show.
I got bad news for you, Savon. A Clayface movie is in the works.
Oh my God.
2026.
Wait, I thought you defended Clayface. I thought you wanted to see Clayface. Maybe that was Brian.
No, Clayface is a cool character. Tragic actor, crappy actor, can shapeshift. Like, that's cool. Yeah. But damn it, not everybody need a movie. You can't just get like a good episode in a Batman show. Like, we got a good Clayface story in the Batman animated series that, okay, cool, we got to see him track. We don't need a damn whole movie dedicated to the shit. God damn.
Ooh, Clayface. Yes.
I'll
It's
stop
about
complaining.
time.
I'll stop complaining when we get us a honest to goodness Nightwing movie, because I feel like they've been disrespecting Nightwing so hard that they need to level him up.
He's in Titans, isn't he?
Yeah,
The
and Titans,
HBO one?
cooking. I mean, he got a fan base, right, between Teen Titans and Young Justice. Young people rock with Nightwing Robin these days. But
yeah,
Bruce, we're done.
I was talking about the HBO Titans show.
That too, but I'm saying,
Okay.
but that version's still a Nightwing variant.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Great. That pretty much wraps up our show. Are there any other shout outs of 2024? It could be shows, actors, games, books, whatever. I wanted to shout out Shrinking. Season 2, it's been really fun. I haven't seen all the episodes yet. Wicked, I thought was just a really great movie. I enjoyed it a ton. And I think I talked about this when we talked about it, but it being a one part of 2 didn't bother me on this one because A, I knew it was coming, and B, I thought where they ended it actually ended in a really good place. And you could continue it or you could not continue the story, and it would be all right either way. And then I think a big shout out to Marvel for paring back their offerings this year. We didn't get a bunch of subpar Disney Plus shows. We got Agatha, which like I didn't personally like, but you guys liked it, so it definitely had an audience. And they only put out one movie this year, which was Deadpool and Wolverine, which didn't have anything to do with like the main whatever story timeline thing they're doing and getting ready for in this, like, I don't know, at post Endgame kind of mess that they've made. Post Endgame. So, shout out to them for really like getting a little bit more strategic, not being like, we got to put out 18 shows and 14 movies in 1 year and only 2 of them are good. They focused on, okay, well, let's push everything back. Let's make sure it's like how we want it. And I'm excited for that. So hopefully that means that next year's movies and stuff that are coming out in 2025 will be good, or this year's movies, I guess I should say, and 2026 movies will be all the better for that little break, and they can focus really on making sure those are dialed in. So sometimes you gotta step back to step forward, I think. Brian, you got any shout outs, 2024 things we didn't mention?
2024 was a mid-year. Good riddance.
Savon, any shout outs 2024?
Yeah, I want to double down on how wrong I was about Wicked. Again, I don't like musicals. That was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I dare say I think I'd watch it again.
Yeah. I would definitely watch it again.
Like I said, Gravity was a good song. Like, I listened not a bunch of times. I listened to Gravity on Spotify twice.
Banger.
And I was like, yeah, she talking that shit. She on the broom, running from the police. She's zipping around Zoom, breaking the boom, got the big cape billowing. I'm like, Gravity. I'm like, oh, yeah, you in your bag. All right, you in your bag. I'll be back for Wicked 2.
I rock to the song Loathing, which is easily adaptable to like almost any situation you're at. Like you're waiting for a game to loading.
Yeah.
You're like eating breakfast, like morning. Like it just works. It just works in everything. Try it.
Nice.
It'll make your day better.
That song is the musical theater version of What's Beef by Biggie. What's beef? Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets, I see you being I see you. Like that's the musical beef. They just hate each other. I'm like, I'm so here for it.
Which song is the one they did the book dance to? Was that also Loathing?
No. That was like
that was
something.
Good.
That was your boy from Bridgerton. That was your boy from Bridgerton too. And I was like, oh my God, he can.
We got the Bridgerton stand on.
I'm saying your boy who played like Finn. I was like, oh, he's holding back. He's been holding it back in Bridgerton. This dude is an absolute hamming it up.
I thought you were gonna say Smoke Show, and you were like in love with him. Okay.
He's a good looking dude, but he's not my type.
All right.
He's a guy.
All right, fair enough.
Well played.
All right, that'll do it for us. Hit us up on socials. We're on Instagram at confidently_pod. You can also find us on YouTube. These shows are all recorded and we put them up unedited. So sometimes you get kind of things that weren't in the actual podcast audio recording. But we most like to hear from you on at confidently_pod. What were your favorites of the 2024 trip around the sun? And next episode we should be talking a little bit about Marvel Rivals. Like we said, we've kind of hinted at it. We've given you a little amuse bouche, but we're gonna dive into our experience over the course of season 0 and as season 1 opens. So if you're looking forward to what it looks like from people who've been playing it a lot, you'll get a firsthand account. And then I think we're gonna do a what we're loving next episode as well. So look forward to that. What is Brian and his pretentious taste gonna pick out for his what we're loving next week?
Nothing for you, Wes.
Hey, you've recommended things that have been really good, so I'm looking forward to it, honestly. All right, friends, we're out of here. We'll see you later. Bye.
Later.